Hello. Let me just. Hello. My name is Kyle. Um, Although you probably know that. And this will be an explanation of how DNA works. So essentially, you start with a ladder, the strand of DNA. This is contained in like the cell nucleus. So the center of the cell that contains all the very important bits. And it's like kept there for safekeeping. So it's supposed to be like especially strong and safe so that nothing can destroy the DNA because the DNA is really important. And so when the DNA needs to be used, it can't really just like go out to wherever it needs to go to do what it does. Because what DNA does is it goes and it like is used. It's like code, and you read it off, and you take that code and you make amino acids from it, or take the correct amino acids, and there's this special thing that reads it 3 letters at a time. I'll explain that. 3 letters at a time, and takes certain amino acids and puts them together in a certain way and uses those letters as blueprints so that it can know which amino acids to take to make proteins. So that's what DNA does, right? Well, it would be really impractical for DNA, the entire thing of DNA, to go out to the ribosome, which is what reads the DNA, for the entire thing to go out to the ribosome just for it to get read, because it only needs to read a certain part of the DNA. So what it does is it creates this thing called RNA, or mRNA. So the M stands for messenger, and so it's basically just like half of a DNA strand, or like it's part of a DNA strand, and it sends that RNA off to the ribosome to get read. The ribosome reads it 3 letters at a time, the letters standing for certain things, and the combination of 3 can mean any of the different amino acids. There are 20 amino acids, and they are all signified to the ribosome by the different like combos of letters. So there's the letters are A, T, I'll explain T because it's confusing, but A, T, C, and G. Now, in RNA, for some weird reason, I have no clue why, if there was going to be a T, if there's a T in the original DNA, it's changed to a U. So basically the letters are A, U, C, and G. And so it's like a ladder, which it's like a ladder but split down the middle. So think of a ladder and think of a single rung. Now in one rung, on one half there is one letter, and on the other half there is another letter. Each half has to have a corresponding letter. So if there's an A on one side, it has to be a T on the other, because A and T go together. It cannot be a C or a G if there's an A. Same thing goes with C and G. If there is a C on one side, it has to be a G on the other. So using this from one half of the DNA, you can learn what the other half is, or predict what the other half is, which is pretty interesting. So anyway, the RNA goes out to the ribosome. The ribosome reads it 3 letters at a time, and then it gets carrier molecules, which I don't want to explain, but they just basically carry amino acids, and it takes the correct carrier molecules, which carry them over to the ribosome to make proteins. So let's just give an example. Say that the letters on the 3 were A, U, and C. Then I could look up a chart, but let's just say that's thionine. Sure. Let's just say that's thionine, and it'll take thionine and put it there, and then it'll go and read the next 3 and take the correct amino acid. And then, once you have that all, once you've done that all, you should have a protein. Now, every single cell in your body is doing that. Like, every single cell in your body contains all of your DNA, and that's how it like reproduces, like how it makes more cells. So now you know. Oh, and I was kind of curious about this, so I asked my mom, why does every single cell in your body have all of your DNA? And why does it just take a certain part for RNA? Say your skin was making more skin cells. Why does it take a certain part of that DNA that's for the skin, and why does it use that? Why doesn't it just have the skin DNA? That's because when you originally start out as like just a tiny little thing, when the first cells are replicating itself, they have to contain everything so that those cells can then turn into every part of your body, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I hope that this helps. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. So DNA is closed. So this is what I was talking about, A and T, G and C. And then it unzips it, I guess. And then it makes RNA or mRNA. Ribosome reads that. And then ribosome attaches the amino acids. And yeah, then you have proteins. So goodbye.